You're listening to episode 93 of the Super League Pod, coming up on your favourite Rugby League podcast. We've got all your feedback and shout-outs, news from around the world of Rugby League. We'll be looking back over an action-packed round of Super League and previewing the big Easter weekend. We might even have some SLP recommends for you as well. All that and more on your favourite podcast with your views, the Super League Pod. Okay, everybody, welcome along to the Super League Pod. As always, I'm Tom, and I'm joined by my sidekick Mark here in the podcast studio.
Yeah.
That's the last time I'll ever do that.
What?
I won't ever refer to you as my sidekick again.
I don't care.
I just wanted one more.
Done. It's fine.
Just wanted one more.
Yeah.
After the disappointment of Steak and BJ week, I thought I'd...
Week?
Well, day. Maybe that's where we're going wrong. Anyway, how's your week been, friend?
Well, it's been good. It's been
stuff.
Decent.
Not bad. You've had a few days to recover from your trip to Wigan on Thursday night.
I was absolutely fuming on Thursday, Friday, part of Saturday.
It's like the Craig David version of you getting over a Wigan defeat. I was chilling out by Sunday.
I was alright by Sunday. I got outside a bit on Saturday, did a bit of stuff in the garden.
Very good.
Which is unlike me.
Very good.
Had some bits to tidy up and stuff.
What have you been planting recently? Because you're quite the horticulturalist, aren't you?
Well, that's more the wife. She plants stuff. I was sorting out some soil for her, and then
she can't do anything without you. Then you're the.
And then she was just because she's got some other stuff on at the moment.
Yeah.
So I sorted out some soil, and then she planted stuff in it.
What are you growing? Or what's Emma growing? I should say.
Potatoes.
Nice.
At the moment is what's gone in.
When are the courgettes going back? I used to like them courgettes. Bring me the occasional courgette.
The courgettes won't be going until probably it's a bit warmer, maybe early May.
Okay.
May time, the courgettes will go in, and probably when the garlic comes out. That's been in over the winter. We also found a load of potatoes from last year buried in the soil that she hadn't found.
Oh my god!
So,
and are they still usable?
Oh no.
No, they were blighted, were they?
They've gone.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I went to the cinema on Friday and saw that 10 Cloverfield Lane that nobody had heard about until 2 months ago, and then it just come out. Have you heard of it?
Is it related to the other Cloverfield?
Well, yeah, sort of. Yeah,
out a few years ago.
Yeah, basically, it's kind of like a parallel story to it. So the first Cloverfield is the found footage. Sort of alien invasion thing, but it's done really intimately, so it's just like this group of friends that are trying to find one lad's girlfriend whilst this whole thing's going on around them, and you kind of see their interplay whilst this overarching attack is going on. And then 10 Cloverfield Lane was like not done as found footage, but set in a bunker that some guy had built, and he'd rescued people. And I won't give too much away because it's well worth going to see, but John Goodman's probably the main actor in it. There's another lad in it who was in the newsroom as well, who's very good.
Oh, I like the newsroom.
It's not the one. It's not your man out of Dumb and Dumber. It's the guy who I can never remember his name. The young fella who came in and started taking over as not the head producer, but kind of supported the lass. Do you know what I mean? I'll IMDb it for you later on. This is pointless.
I know the guy you mean, yeah.
So he's in it as well, but John Goodman's fucking insane. Really, really good. Just powerhouse performance. And the film, it's a good hour and a half, and it never lets up from like minute one.
Have you used your SLP recommends already?
No, this is a different one. This is an absolute... No, this is just on top. This is bonus SLP recommends.
Fair enough.
But I can hardly recommend it. So...
Is that all you've been doing?
Yeah, pretty much. Watched a bit of rugby.
Yeah.
That was about it, really. Bit at work. It's all fascinating stuff.
Mate, it was my grandma's 80th this week.
Oh, wow.
So we had a party on Saturday.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was
at
good.
The Catholic Club?
Of course.
Hey.
We tried to have it somewhere else and she went for having it.
She went for having it. I'm going to the Catholic Club. You lot can either come or go.
Basically. So,
I love old people.
My dad did a speech. It was very cringe-worthy, like, dad-like.
Oh, was it?
Because he's not that good in delivery of jokes, so...
Oh, was it a bit kind of...
Yeah. His two funniest jokes were two I'd heard before.
Oh, right.
One of them was riffed off a joke my little brother did when he did a best man speech when he was about 11.
Right.
At my uncle's wedding.
If you're plagiarising an 11-year-old boy...
It was a good gag.
All right.
And the other one was a joke taken directly out, or an anecdote, a sort of story taken directly out of his wedding speech from 15 years ago.
I've got nothing against the guy from utilising other resources, though. That's all right. Well, congratulations to your grandma on reaching 80. That's a hell of an innings. Right, who's been getting in touch with us this week, Mark? 'Cause I'm looking down the list and we've got a lot of feedback.
Yeah, plenty. As per. Chris McEwen, we're going to start with him. He's telling us there's an update on his wife's voicemail.
Good.
Apparently it's been changed now and is now McKeown, not McEwen. In other terms, it's now right, is what Chris says. I would say his wife is a good woman. She's willing to put up with his crap pronunciation of his own name to make him happy.
I'm not going to get into this argument with you, but it's definitely McKeown. It always has been, and the man himself agrees. So I think we can put it to bed now. Now that Mrs. McKeown has gone to the trouble of changing her own voicemail.
She's just a great woman who wants to do right by her husband and not make him embarrassed that all his life has been pronouncing his own name wrong.
She's not doing right by her husband by taking his name and then doing him the courtesy of pronouncing it correctly.
Incorrectly. Dom Hodgson.
What would you do if Emma spent her life as Emma Illingworth?
I'd say, where have you found that E in the name? Because there isn't one there.
Oh, fine.
Dom Hodgson got in touch. He said, debating skipping the Super League pod discussion of a certain match. I can already hear the glee in Em's voice.
Yeah, well, this week, Dom, I suggest you stay tuned.
Yeah, it's going to go off.
Yeah, it's going to go, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can feel it coming. Who's this chap? Who's BJKD?
Bernard JKD got in touch. He said, Fortitude, he was correcting us, more me. Fortitude is set off the coast of Norway, not Iceland. The island is not fictional, as it's based on a real island there. Well, if that's fucking true, I won't want to go to that island.
I think the island geographically is what it's based on, not what happens.
Yeah. And then he says to check out BBC 4 showing a series called Trapped. It's far superior to Fortitude, and this one is set off the coast of Iceland.
So that's what you want, because you wanted Icelandic, didn't you?
Well, it's the same difference. I'm guessing visually similar.
It's cold and they eat a lot of fish, I think.
But yeah, this Trapped, I had a look on iPlayer, but when I had a look, the first 2 episodes were no longer up. So I'm going to definitely mark it down for one to check out, but I'm not sure when I'll be able to get on some sort of thing that I can watch the first couple of episodes on. But thanks for the recommendation, Bernard. That's great.
Yes,
we like that.
Thank you.
Sean got in touch. Catch 22. Didn't listen to Super League pod because I was with the missus. But that meant I didn't get...
Are you alright there?
But that meant I didn't get the date reminder. Had bacon instead.
It's a lot of kids. See, now listen, we've performed a bit of a public service this week for next year.
Yeah,
I would say.
Well, here's a public service for all our Aussie listeners.
This is quite something.
Paul Michael Craig got in touch. He said, I didn't know March the 14th was Steak and BJ Day, but I do know that April the 18th is National Anal Sex Day.
Yeah, we both learnt this from Jim Jeffries, the Australian comedian. He's got a special on Netflix, which is very, very funny if you've got a similar sense of humour to you or I.
I think I watched it on the flight to America last year.
It is a touch on the brutal side, but he does a brilliant bit about...
Is he sat with a pint of beer through the whole thing?
At one point, he sits
picking
down.
a new one up from behind the box, and it's...
That's right, yeah. And he does this whole bit about Oscar Pistorius, which is hilarious. But yeah, apparently, April the 18th is National Anal Sex Day, and he was talking about getting T-shirts made to celebrate it, and how if you saw a guy with an April 18th T-shirt, you'd be like, hey. But then if you saw a girl with an April 18th T-shirt, you're hey. So yeah, we bonded over that a little bit, me and Paul.
Good stuff. Colin Render got in touch. He said, a rabbito is a seller of rabbits for eating, as you suggested.
Yeah, I thought you might. I remember seeing a documentary about the rabbitos, like early days pictures of kind of guys holding up dead rabbits.
That sort of makes the whole mascot and stuff a bit off, doesn't it?
Well, it's just a rabbit, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So they're basically saying, well, what we're going to do, we're going to string this rabbit up and have it in a stew.
At least they've not sent out a bloke with a dead rabbit as the mascot.
Do you reckon they did in the early days?
That would be a bit on there. Well, in the early days, it was just blokes with dead rabbits, wasn't it? Universally in the crowd.
Yeah.
So, no, I think they've... maybe there's some room for development there at South Sydney.
Well, talking about the NRL a bit, Elliot Wrench got in touch. He said, I've got Premier Sports for the first time. Plumped for the New Zealand Warriors myself. No big reason. But see how they go, #NRL. There was also a bit of chat between one of the other people, that river, Johnny.
Right.
And
one of the other people.
Was it Dom who got onto the NR onto Premier Sports?
Yeah, Dom Hodgson.
So there's a bit of a funny exchange between those two about whose team player mascot thing would outdo the others, and that rolls back into the Rabbitoh thing because.
Well, that would be the winning one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Now that we know it's not actually a rabbit who's going to be, bumming any other things, it's one going to be killing you.
Yeah.
And if you're killing a rabbit, you've got no qualms of killing a shark or killing a...
Oh, I don't know. I think rabbits are a significantly easier proposition than your average common or garden shark, Mark.
Yeah, but you'd be willing to kill one, probably.
Well, Elliot Wrench couldn't do it. Not yet. He'd have to keep his swimming lessons up. And then he could maybe get out there and kill a shark. But I'm saying to you, if you said to me, you've got to kill one of these animals, it's either a shark or a rabbit, I'm taking my hammer out, and me and Mr. Bunny Rabbit go around the back for a hell of a time.
I'd get on one of the birds, really, probably eagle or something.
Fuck that, no. Rabbit every day. Why would you can't kill an eagle as easily as you can kill a rabbit.
They're quite big.
What, rabbits?
Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. They are quite big, and they've got big fucking pecky beaks and
I know
claws.
I'm terrified of them, but if I shoot them from far enough away,
I shoot them. Shoot the rabbit.
I don't shoot.
Look,
it'd probably backfire on me so much that I'd go flying about 4 yards backwards and concuss myself.
All I'm saying is that if I have to kill a rabbit, if I have to kill an animal, I'd rather kill a rabbit than a shark.
What about a bull?
There's a couple of bulls I'd like to sacrifice this week if that could be something. Should we get back to podcasting?
So Elliot Wrench also said he was on a hike today whilst listening to episode 92 of Super League Pod. That's last Tuesday or Wednesday he went on his hike. The first subject, steak and BJ, they laughed so much I nearly fell off a Welsh hill. Great work. Thanks for the swimming lessons shout out. Superb. Hope it helps someone else. Bike lessons to start one's party is mastered.
Oh, Elliot, you're such a good sport. Thank you, Elliot. It's lovely to hear that you're laughing at it. Good lad.
Craig Malson got in touch. He said, "Hi, it's Craig, the expat Cas fan here.
That's the fella.
My dad played for Loch Lane back in the 70s. Took a very good Huddersfield side back in the day, right to the wire, and lost 15-10 at the Old Fartown. Great to see them keeping up the Challenge Cup tradition.
Yeah, more on that later on as well.
There you go.
Superb. Okay, who's next?
Paul Ludo Lewis. He said, SLP recommends Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. What's next week? Seinfeld and Only Fools and Horses?
Probably not.
I like Seinfeld.
I like Only Fools and Horses, but it was what we've been watching. So,
yeah.
But you're more than, welcome to ask us what's next. You'll find out at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Who's this? Who's the next person?
RL Bet Stats on Twitter said, enjoyable pod this week. If you're talking Sky box sets, though, you really need to catch Banshee.
Right.
I don't...
No idea about Banshee.
I've seen the trailers for it, but it's never really hooked me in. But
hey, there's a lot of good TV going around.
Yeah. I think it stars, from the adverts I think I've seen, this guy who's just in everything where they wanted sort of a bit of a psychopath kind of guy.
Yeah.
But like a fun-loving psychopath kind of guy.
Right, okay.
So I think that's the guy who's in it. So I don't know.
I love a fun-loving psychopath.
Exactly.
Speaking of which,
Dan G got in touch at Danny Garbs, new one this week. He said, your posh assessment of Peter Lamarquand is way off. Hashtag rough as fuck. Hashtag Mersey Island Mafia.
Fair enough. Well, there you go.
So obviously that's down in off the Essex coast, is it?
Mersey Island.
Yeah.
Presume so.
I'm guessing.
I presume so. Well, there you go.
No helmets required. Got in touch. I went to Moncock Stadium a few times in the 90s. No sniggering at the back. He sent some pictures.
Cheers, Gav. That's it.
Yeah, of himself in Moncock Stadium.
Fair play.
So that just gives more reason for you to put it on the maps at work.
Well, they've been produced now.
Well, missing a trick. But
missing a trick. Next time round, we'll cover ourselves in Moncock.
Good stuff. Lee Whitnell got in touch by email, so this is a bit of a longer one, but it's a bit more of a rounded story about Lee and his interest in rugby league, so we like these.
Yes.
He said, I assume it's a man.
It could be either way, couldn't it? It's a unisex spelling of the name.
Yeah. After reading out my review of Wire versus Catalans game, you said that you hoped the new Wire listeners would stick around when we realised it wasn't our year. I just wanted to reassure you that I am going nowhere.
Good lad, or lass.
I only found SLP last month, but it was an experience akin to the human discovery of fire. Prior to this, I had been scratching around for free rugby league content wherever I could find it, like some hapless addict. But now I have SLP every Tuesday and, on your recommendation, Twill on a Wednesday to feed my addiction through the week. I'm a happier person all round.
Fantastic.
I actually only got into rugby league during the last World Cup, where I attended quite a few of the games. The Halliwell Jones is the nearest ground to where I live, and both my sons